Actually, this is something I want to talk about. I tried doing an episode about it, but it was just a complete disaster. I just scrapped the episode because it wasn't really good. Is this New Jersey Devils team similar to the 2001 Oakland Athletic, or no, the 2002 Oakland Athletics, the Moneyball situation? So I figured, since I got you on the show, since you're a stats guy, why not have that conversation with you? Are the New Jersey Devils like the 2002 Oakland Athletics? Now, hang on a second.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi, this is Bryce Salvador, and you're Locked On Devils with Trey Matthews.
Elliott scores! Oh, Stevens stepped up, nailed it. Brodor's got the puck. What a shot. The Devils win the Stanley Cup.
All right, so there are rich teams, then there are poor teams, then there's 50 feet of crap, then there's us. Not the New Jersey Devils. That was in the words of Brad Pitt, who played Billy Beane in the smash hit baseball movie Moneyball, which reflected around the 2002 Oakland Athletics team, I'm forced by it. I almost said the New Jersey Devils, but the Oakland Athletics team, they lost 3 key guys in free agency due to the fact that they couldn't afford to keep them. So they had to try to, how do they compete with these big market teams like the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees? They couldn't. They said if they tried to play like the Yankees in their war room, they were going to lose to the Yankees in real life. So they had to think differently. So basically, Billy Beane hired a statistician from, I believe, either Yale or Harvard, one of those Ivy League schools.
Yeah, his name escapes me now, but it was
different in the movie.
Bill James. Bill James.
Yeah, okay. It was different in the movie, but it was and the schools were also different because the actual
in the movie is Peter Brand.
Yeah, but his real name is not Peter Brand in real life because the actual person didn't want his real name in it. They had the right to his likeness, but not the right to his name or things of that nature. So, played by Jonah Hill in the movie. Jonah Hill, very serious movie and not a comedy. But overall, I love as a former college athlete who played baseball. I love that movie. I watched it when I was in middle school. You said you watched it in high school.
Yep, I literally graduated like that, like a year later.
Showing your age.
Yeah, I graduated 08, but anyways, like.
But the point I'm trying to make is that the Oakland Athletics, a small market team, the New Jersey Devils, a small market team. So it's just like the Devils, they can't really compete with these big market teams. Like they're not an original 6 team. They're not a team from Canada. They're not located in a big city, because the fact of the matter is that Newark, New Jersey, no disrespect to anyone who like lives there, but there's nothing like extravagant about it. Like it's not like Los Angeles or Miami or things of that nature, but with all due respect. But it's just like, but the only difference between that Athletics team and this Devils team is that the Devils were not poor. Like it's not like the whole point of this previous offseason was talking about spending money, like find someone and sign them to this big contract. But unfortunately we whiffed on a few. So it's just like, do you think this New Jersey Devils team is similar to the Oakland Athletics team? Because it's just like no one anticipated for them to go on this lengthy win streak. They got their band of underdogs together, and basically it's working like a machine.
Yes, but better. They are better in the sense where they have owners with deep pockets. They go above the cap floor, and they're right near against the cap. What does this do? The Devils have a lot of guys on interesting contracts where there's a lot of guys competing for 1-year deals that are looking to be a couple-year deals, make or break situations. In this case, this is, like I said before many times, they are on a tryout for another contract and see who can compete well together and who doesn't stick together. So I'm going to review something from Gladiator. So if we stick together, we survive. Now, the Devils are sticking together. They're surviving. and thriving, if I will. Why is that? You look at guys like Michael McLeod, who I just looked at for 22-23 just to have 21 points on the season. Last I checked, he's on pace for 38 and 5 goals. So what does that tell you? Something in the system is working. Jesper Boqvist is looking at 34 points projected, but he's still underperforming. So, however, if Holtz were playing right now, he would be on a 21-point pace and 21 goals. Nathan Bastian, I want to be more conservative before the season, 22 points. What is he at right now? 41 plus. Nico Hischier, a conservative 70. What is he looking at? Possibly 100. Jack Hughes, before this, 94 points. Right now, he's pacing for 82 plus. That's not bad. And Jesper Bratt, a conservative 79, and a super profitable 103 points. And I'm sure his agent's proud to listen to this. At one point, Bratt was looking at 137 points.
Yeah, well, we knew that wasn't going to be realistic.
I mean, things peter off a little bit. Dawson Mercer is 9 points behind his projected 42. He's at 33 pace. So if he picks up the pace, looking at a really good deal. Miles Wood, he was only projected just for 30, but now he's at a 49-point game plus pace. Sharon Govich, looking at 50, but right now he's at a 33-point plus pace. If Palat were healthy right now, sorry about your you-know-whats, he would be at 41 right now. I mean, he only scored 3 goals in 3 games. So there's the math on that. Eric Holla, 33, but he's pacing 27, maybe a little bit less. Zetterlund, a very conservative 22, but he's looking at a 49-point game pace. Tomas Tatar, 33 conservatively, 60-point season pace he is at right now.
He's waking up a lot of those haters, because it's funny how when we were talking about Tomas Tatar, we were talking about how he could be potentially one of the people to be waived by the Devils, or go through waivers and then be sent down to Utica, just because we had to make room for Fabian Zetterlund and also Alexander Holtz. So, it's funny how it works in that sort of case where Tomas Tatar actually did have a pretty good preseason, and he made a lot of noise and basically got to a point where saying, like, we can't cut him. We need him.
Exactly. I mean, let me throw this in there. Like, defensemen, when it comes to goals per 82, like a few games back, Dougie Hamilton is on pace for 22 goals and 66 points. John Marino, 5 goals, 38 points per season right now. Graves, 16 goals on a pace like that and 38 points. And Smith is supposed to have 25 points, but he's well underperforming. So I would cut him. And Damon Severson is at 5 goal or less pace and less than 16 points per game in 82 games. So there it is. It's easier to cut those two and insert Ball and Ahotuk easily.
Yeah, and also Luke Hughes and a couple others. So
yeah, it's the farm system is one of the most stable in the NHL. Maybe the Buffalo Sabres to an extent, and maybe Ottawa, but Ottawa's team currently is just not doing that well. And that goes to show you how important drafting, trading, signing, player development has gone for this team. Even when this team absolutely stunk, a lot of the juices out of this smoothie is really coming to fruition, like a mango lassi at an Indian restaurant. This is how good it's getting.
That's actually pretty clever. So I got to ask you this, because earlier on in the show you said like basically this is not a band of misfits. This is actually players who are low risk, high reward kind of thing. But here's what someone that I know in a private DM said, who basically was trying to tell me how this worked. Says Hamilton's injury, no guarantee he bounces back. You're relying on a random dudes like Jonas Siegenthaler to bring up the squad. Marino was bad in Pittsburgh. BMW is cast-offs. Like saying all of that was going to happen and it would happen is disingenuous, or I don't know that word.
Disingenuous.
There we go. Yeah. Spelling's not my look. Spelling's not my forte, kind of thing. But basically, this person was just saying like, look, I said the New Jersey Devils got better by default. I didn't anticipate for them to be this good, but I said they would get better. So basically, this person is saying like Jonas Siegenthaler is just a random dude, or BMW is a bunch of cast-offs. I said Miles Wood was greatly missed last year. He was a spark plug. He was a pest. He was what glued the Bastian and McLeod line together. He was greatly missed. It's not a bunch of cast-offs. And I knew what Nathan Bastian could do after the 2021 season, because I don't know if you listened to one of my more recent episodes. I said, don't expose Nathan Bastian in the Seattle Kraken expansion draft.
I will say this to all the people out there banging on the McLeod Bastian draft. To me, they're not busts, because you have guys like Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, who are meant for these top two line roles. And what do Bastian and McLeod bring? They're two former Mississauga Steelheads in the OHL that were like the Bash brothers. They were like the modern day crash line, and they could easily ruin a defensive team's night. And they were doing it night in, night out. And they bring that flavor of speed, physicality, grit. And guess what? You add Wood. He brings that beefy, Sasquatchy, gritty game, fast pace. I'll muscle you out. And if you look at that one goal he had against Columbus, he literally just like danced around, used his body, and said, "Thank you, bye-bye."
Yeah,
that's the quintessential BMW modern day crash line.
Yeah, that's what, and a fan actually brought that up to me on Twitter. I got to give a shout out to that fan at some point. But yeah, I mean, basically, like I said, this person was just basically saying that the Devils, this is just sheer luck or that kind of thing. And look, a little bit is, going on a lengthy winning streak, it is a bit of luck. But if this was like easy, anyone could do it, that kind of thing. So, I'm just saying, like, Jonas Siegenthaler is not a random dude. We were talking highly about him last year. You just didn't see it because you don't pay attention to the game, or you don't pay attention to the Devils specifically. You're saying the BMW is just a bunch of cast-offs. Not true. Devils fans and Devils reporters, we've been telling everyone how good these certain players are, but they never listen to us, kind of thing. They just they just scoreboard watch, or they just look at the basic stats or whatever the case might be. We're actually watching the game and seeing how it makes an impact, kind of thing. So for this person, who I don't want to call out because I don't want to get into trouble, but basically, this person just gave me some inspiration to just basically ask people like you, are these just a bunch of cast-offs or what?
I'm telling that person to come forward and talk to me on the podcast, because I like to have a nice debate.
Yeah, he and me don't have really that good of a relationship, so I highly doubt him.
Is it a Ranger fan?
No, I'll admit some. I can't go into detail. I'll get in trouble. But basically,
Tell
it's just
it
like,
to come to me.
I'll just say this: he used to work at the network. He no longer does, and sometimes he bashes on me for my takes or that kind of thing. He said I was effing insane for saying that Jack Hughes was better than Trevor Zegras or whatever the case might be. So if you've seen
probably because he wished he had Jack Hughes. That's another good thing.
Yeah, probably.
That's how you know you're drafting right.
So if you,
I'm not trying to be.
No, go ahead.
I said I'm not trying to be biased, but I'm saying, people wish that they had a certain player. Like, I wish I had Pavel Datsyuk years ago. I always liked him as my favorite non-Devil.
Let me get you guys hip to BetOnline so you can make some big money this holiday season. So BetOnline.net is your number one source for your sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get all the latest odds and trends for every professional sport and amateur league out there. From football to basketball to soccer and esports, we've got it for you live at BetOnline.net. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find all those at BetOnline as well. We're always the fastest, easy way to get all your betting fix. Head to the website today or use a mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Please remember to gamble responsibly and visit our friends at Locked On Bets for all your betting needs there as well.
See, the thing is like, I've called this person out on my show before because I used that tweet in a couple episodes. So if you go back on it, then you'll see who it is. But I can't personally tell you the name because otherwise I think I'll get in trouble, and I don't want to expose anybody on the show. But yeah, basically, in a private DM, this person was just telling me like this is just a bunch of misfits together, and a little bit of it is, but we knew their true potential. We knew what they could do.
Now, let me put this out there. I know this is going to be about not misfits, but like the big burly guys. And I like to talk about the Sasquatch account a little bit more, though, because you know how it is game day. I like to have fun. And I like to sound like a caveman a little bit on game day. So if you look at some of the stuff I put out, like, Sasquatch ready for maple candies. I have that like Homer Simpson, like caveman, like mind, like game day. I wanted to play fun, and I didn't want to be rude.
I see some of the tweets and they're hilarious. And the Twitter for Jersey Joe's Sasquatch Squad Twitter will be in the description. Please give it a follow. It is hilarious, quite honestly. So, Jersey Joe, we basically have talked about everything. Do you have any final thoughts?
Just remember that if you want to give someone credit for where credit needs to be done, you need to start talking about Sask score nowadays. Now, remember this, people. I wish I was famous, but I'm doing it for a different reason. But I can't wait to rejoin Pucks and Pitchforks once again.
So this is going to be my colleague over at Pucks and Pitchforks.
I'm just waiting on the approval.
So this is my new colleague over at
It's not my first time.
Oh, not your first time. That's right. So
yep.
I can now say Jersey Joe is a colleague of mine over at Pucks and Pitchforks. And so it's great to have you a part of the network. And Pucks and Pitchforks is awesome. They took me in after, unfortunately, me and the hockey writers just couldn't see eye to eye or that kind of thing. So,
yeah, I couldn't handle being part of other players through the draft that made it to the NHL. But at the same time, I did grow to miss what I went through after leaving Pucks and Pitchforks, and I was very deeply upset with Inside the Puck folding. So for me, I look at myself as a more refined writer nowadays, and I just want to go out there, have fun, but like I want to make, every article I write unique. And it's not just, using a thesaurus. It's about the videos and the description of player and talking about this new thing about Sask score and everything like that. Because we live in an information age, but to the casual fan, it's time to look at the more finer details in life. It's not just, hits, points. There's more to it nowadays. There's so many advanced stats that you could kind of see a scouting report actually tell the part.
And Jersey Joe, you are my guy for the stats and all things of that nature. So once again, thank you for being a friend of the show. Welcome back to Pucks and Picks. Excuse me. Welcome back to Pucks and Pitchforks, and glad that you're going to be my colleague once again. So Jersey Joe, this has been fun, my man, and we're certainly going to do this again.
Oh, we most certainly will, especially regardless if they play 500 hockey or north of that. So either way, I'm happy.
Fingers crossed that come like February or March, you and I are just talking about playoffs or talking about how good the New Jersey Devils could be.
Let's start playing some narco, and let's get Timmy Trumpets going.
Unfortunately, I can't play on the show due to copyright reasons. So, but yes, we could start. We could play it off camera.
Off camera, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.